Hello everybody, I'm Fish, as you might know from the channel you're watching this video on, and I'm bringing you another Minecraft tutorial today. This time I'll be showing you how to build a cave spider farm for getting all those lovely little spider eyes. Now I'm doing this because I was looking for some cave spider farm videos on YouTube a few days ago, but there wasn't really anything that encompassed the whole farm in a single video. So that's why I'm doing this today. If you hear any weird noises, I do apologize. It is raining heavily outside and I can't do anything about it. But first, let's get started on this farm. There are three main parts to it. There's the cage, the timer, and the killing chamber. So first we'll build the cage, which is where the spiders will spawn in. Okay, so to start, we'll take this. Obviously, this little spawny thingy here will be the center. We'll go out 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. Little block here. Now, the actual spawn area for the spiders is a 9 by 9 by 5 box centered on the spider spawner. Okay, so when you're half done, the cage area should look a little bit like this. 2 spaces below, 2 spaces above, 4 to the side, all the way up to this little corner up here. Okay, so that's what it looks like half completed. I'll go ahead, round out the other half, and then I will be back. Okay, so we've dug out a little 9 by 9 by 5 spawn box. Pretty neat. So that's our spawn area. Now, once you've done this, you'll have to pick a direction. That way, that way, that way, or that way. And that will be where the spiders will be funneled into. That'll be where the killing box and the timer, both of which I'll get to later, will be located. So I think we'll go this way. Now you want to make a small tunnel like this, and you want to make it at least a specific length, because when a monster spawner spawns new mobs, it checks 8 blocks in any direction, and if there are 6 or more mobs of the type of mob that the spawner produces, if there's 6 or more within a 17 by 17 by I think it's 9 box centered on the spawner, it won't spawn anymore. So we'll want to take them outside that box, which is 8 blocks, 9 blocks away from this spawner, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we want to take them at least to here. And that's exactly where we'll be taking them. But first, let's set up our little collection trap. We'll be using water and a pressure plate. Okay, so first thing we'll do is we'll get rid of these torches because they will get in the way. Damn it. Okay, now you'll want to make sure that the water pushes them all towards this block here. So to do that, we'll use a little water trick. We'll put 1 block here, 1 block here, 3 on the wall like this. Do not put a water source block in the corners. That'll mess it up because it'll turn everything into source blocks. We'll put 2 here on the other side. So as you can see, it's pushing them all towards this block, but there's this little problem up here. So to fix that, we go up 1 from the corner, and we put a block there. See how it ends up like this? It all gets pushed towards the middle. We'll do the same over here. And voila, we got our little funnel happening. Now, what I use in my traps is I'll put a pressure plate here, a water source block here. So that when the spiders go on this, all they need to do is make the tiniest of movements that way, which, being the jittery little bugs they are, usually doesn't take very long. However, you want to put a block up here. Now that pretty much traps them under there so that they can't really climb. You don't want them climbing, because if you got them to here, they could climb up this wall, and then really the trap wouldn't be as good. Actually, I just put 1 here. Okay, so that is our cage completed. Now let's get on to some other areas. Okay, we'll just make a little hole here to get into, like this. Okay, so we've pushed our spiders to here. This is where they will end up. This will be our collection point. We'll force all the spawned spiders into here. And now I'll show you how to build the contraptions that this farm uses to kill, we'll do trap, kill, and then collect the drops of these delicious little spider buggers. Okay, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've just put some glass up here so we can see the trap, but also so that the water won't get in. Now this empty block here with the pressure plates around it, that's where the water will end up. That's that block we referred earlier. From there you want to dig down 4 blocks, I think. Yes, 4 blocks. And then facing the glass or the trap, you want to dig out a 3 by 3 by 3 cube like this. Actually, let's put down some torches so you can see. Okay, so from here, you dig out a 3 by 3 by 3 cube. Voila. Okay, now we'll be getting into some redstone. So try to bear with me. First things first though, to make everything go a little bit quicker, we're going to put glass blocks where those pressure plates were. See, we've still got a pressure plate here, collection point. Excuse me. And I like to use a glowstone block here. It just seems to work better for me. Next, you want to go here, dig in 2, put a piston, a sticky piston, has to be a sticky piston, right there. And then we'll put 2 more sticky pistons here. So we've got, this is the collection point, glowstone, glass, and we got our sticky pistons lined up, ready to go. Okay, what was next? Okay, so the next thing we want to set up is our trapper, which is a device that when you flick a lever, it'll push a block here, cutting off the stream so that no more spiders can get in, because we're going to be using a crusher to weaken the spiders, and if you use the crusher to weaken them, and then you get more spiders coming in, it's going to mess up. You won't be able to kill them all with a single punch, which is what we're aiming for. So we want to block them off so no fresh spiders can get in. You can deal with them at your own leisure. The way you do that is on either side here of the block above the glowstone, you dig a hole 2 deep, put a sticky piston there, and let's get our stone happening. Okay, so that when the piston's activated, this happens. Cuts it off, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, that's basically our little trap zone completed. If, say, for a couple of touches, fill up the rest of this, put a block. It can't be a transparent block. Do not use a transparent block for this because it won't kill the spiders. Put 2 blocks here. That'll form our crusher. And then fill it up like this. Last thing you want to do for this little exercise is get a fence post. Has to be a fence post. You can use them of the wooden or nether brick variety. And you put it here. Now this is very crucial because not only will it push the spiders up half a block, but you can also punch them through it. Let's just fix that. That was an accident. Okay, so we've got our cage set up. We've got our little killing room set up. What I usually do is I just usually put something here. This is where you walk in to use the machine. Now the last thing we need to do is build a timer, because we're going to be having some little redstone doohickeys here. This lever here will control the blocker. You flick it, it'll push up. You flick it back, it'll pull back, allowing more spiders to collect. This one here will control this. This is what I call the item drop. Basically, you press this button, The sticky piston pulls that back for a moment, allowing the drops to fall down, and then it pushes it back so that when new spiders come in, they won't fall down and murder you. And this central button here is the most important of them all. It controls the crusher. Now the way I set the crusher up is that you press the button once and it weakens the spiders to half a heart of health. And the first thing we want to do is get these two single sticky pistons set up. So to do that, we'll just dig a hole behind here. Sticky pistons there. So let's get rid of all this annoying dirt. And some stone. Okay, so this is where the button is. Now, in its passive state, when you're not using it, you want the sticky piston extended, so that when you press the button, it'll pull it back and then push it back to its state here. So do that. This should be on. Do that, we'll use a redstone torch directly behind the block. We'll put a block directly above the torch. Now that won't power it. That will. We'll put a single bit of redstone dust here, and that'll allow that to activate, or deactivate as it were, when you press the button. Now for the blocker, as I like to call it. No, that was an accident. We'll go this way. And let's dig up until we see the blocker. The heck is that? Okay, there's the blocker. As you can see, blocker right here. Now that we've put the fence post up, we can get rid of this bit of glass. And the way we want to do this is, let's go back down, confirm where this is the block that the lever will power. Put a redstone torch here. Put a redstone torch here. So it transmits power up to this block. However, redstone dust here. And let's see what happens when you push the lever. Flick it down. Bam. Blocker. First things first though, let's just tidy this up, because I forgot to do it earlier. Now, side note I forgot to add earlier, when the spiders are being pushed through here, you want this tunnel one block high, right up until you're directly over the fence post. Oh shoot. Well, fortunately, that doesn't really do anything. But yes. You want that one high so that when the spiders are getting pushed through, they won't jump up. You want them to you want the spiders to get pushed through as smoothly as possible to here, then they'll jump up. More will collect, they'll all jump up into the same spot. So let's just have a quick test. Ah, great, what did I do now? My apologies, people. It turned out that I hadn't put the block back in front of the blocker. Simple mistake, easy to fix. Nothing too major. Now, this last bit here is probably the hardest thing to set up. This is the timer. Now, to build the timer, you want to go behind here and dig out, well, actually behind this torch, and dig out a 7x7x7 area. Okay, so we've dug out our little timer room here. It's only 7x6x6, but I'm pretty sure that's all the room we'll need. Now, because the button will be on the other side of this block, this repeater will get power from it. We got to use a repeater here. If we use redstone dust, it'll get powered by that, and we don't want that. You go up one block, dust here. Let's get rid of this. And from here, we're going to be setting up a complex ABBA switch, which will, it's basically just a pulse extender, if you will. It'll turn the pulse from about 10 ticks from the button, from the button to I'm not sure what the exact length is, but it will be enough so that these two crushers here, right here, will reduce the spiders to a half heart of health. Okay, now I've gone ahead and done this off camera, but the very first thing you want to do before putting up the actual ABBA relay is to put a block on the bottom of the two crusher pistons and then put a redstone dust on top. It just helps get your bearings. It helps set the whole thing up. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is we'll set up a little crosshatch pattern here, and that will form the first floor of our timer. The timer itself is 2 floors high. It's just the same thing repeated on top of itself. Okay, so we'll be using a crosshatch pattern, so you want to get rid of all these blocks, like so. Don't get rid of that one. Yeah, you really don't want to get rid of that one. But then we'll just go ahead and stack blocks on top of them like this. In case it's not obvious to you already, we will be using a lot of repeaters in this setup. We'll be having the repeaters will power these blocks, which will power another repeater, which is why we're having this weird mismatch pattern. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to have a repeater here, 1 tick only, which will direct power into this block. So basically you press the button, power into here, very quickly. Okay, next thing you want to do is put redstone dust on top. 1 tick repeater going into this block. We'll get rid of that. Redstone wire on top. Can I do this? Yep. Then you want redstone wire here and here as well. And that's just our pathway for getting up to the next floor. It's only 1 tick as opposed to the 2 ticks that 2 torches would use. And it's a lot more useful because if you use torches here, you might run into a problem with this bit of wire. It's a bit more resource intensive, but it's less hassle. Okay, the next thing you want to do is put 3 tick, they all have to be 3 tick, redstone repeaters around the perimeter. So you want to take the longest possible route to get to this block here. Now, since this is an ABBA switch, we'll have to occasionally have power go into this block again. So we'll put a repeater here, and 1 here. So whenever the charge goes into this block, it'll go into that block and then to that block before the pulse provided by the button wears out, and then these pull back. So that's what it looks like. The ones in the middle, all 1 tick. The ones on the outside, all 3 ticks, except for the one that provides the closest path between that and that. Of course, you can reverse the design, modify it to any of the other corners. I just use this because it's a lot simpler for me. I have trouble keeping up with this. Okay, now it's time to build the second floor. So we'll put 1 here, a block, and basically we're just going to take this, raise it up 2 blocks, and duplicate it. So I'm just going to do that quickly on camera. This is where the repeaters will actually sit. You can see you might be a little bit cramped for space eventually, but it's worth it in the end. Okay, then blocks up top. Because again, these are the blocks that the repeaters will provide power to. Now you can see why I told you to build this 7x7, because you need this extra space here. Okay, so you got this, an exact replica of that, up 2 blocks. First thing you want is to put a 1 tick repeater here, because this redstone will power this, go into here, and then it'll power that. So both those pistons will be activated. I think it's 4 or 5 ticks after you press the button. Again, you want to take the scenic route, going around. So 3 tick repeaters again. And you'll also want to have, again, the little connectors, the 1 tick repeaters, I advise using the same setup you have down there, which is that. This one points into there, that one points into there. Basically, all the sides that aren't this one point into the center block, and the one in the middle points into that. And we'll also need one here. Now there is one tiny problem, and that is that with this setup, you will leave the spiders on one full heart of health. We don't want that. We want them to be down to a half heart, so you can punch them to death really easily. Now to do this, exactly four repeaters up top need to be set to 4 ticks. So we'll pick 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're done. That is the spider farm set up. It's not too difficult to set up. I think we need some victory music here. Only problem is how the hell am I going to get back in there? Let's just carve a hole in here. Block here. Blocks here and here. Everything is working. Missed one thing. Once you've done all that, the last thing you want to do, like not sarcastically as in the last thing to do, is to remove the lights from the spider spawner. A little dangerous, but you know, I'm sure you can figure out a way to do that. Now, before that though, we'll just test to make sure everything works. Okay, so let's flick the blocker. Blocks the water off, leaves a too high gap for them to get into. I think I'm going to use a different block here. Let's go with... well, we got different colored walls. Let's use those. Don't know why I had them, but hey, they're about to become useful. We'll use red wool for the blocker. We'll use green wool for the crusher, and we'll use blue wool for the dropper. Let me just fix that, because like an idiot I forgot that it controlled the water. But that's good, because of the way I set this up, even if the water malfunctions like that and leaks in, it's not going to destroy the system. Okay, button. Let's get our stone back. Block, lever. Okay, so, testing. Blocker. Works. Crusher. Works. Dropper. Works. So you want to do that in order. Flick the blocker, flick the crusher, punch them to death. Don't press this first when the spiders are in here or you'll get massacred. And then when you're done, you'll flick this back. So more spiders can collect. Okay, I'm going to go deactivate the lights in the spawner. And then I'll be right back to give a quick demonstration of how this thing actually works. Alright, I am back after turning the lights off on the spawner. As it is, I'm playing on peaceful because this is creative mode. However, let's just... we're well lit in here, we're protected from other mobs. So let's turn ourselves to survival mode. And let's go normal. Should hear those spiders spawning any moment. There they go. I can hear the spiders. They should be coming into this collection chamber. Yay, we got a baby spider. Now, at first, the spiders won't all they'll jostle like this. They won't all... There we go. We've got the mobs all jumping up into the same area. And that's what I like to call mob pressure. They're pushing them that way. Eventually, they'll all collect into this spot here. Let's just let them build up for a few moments. Okay, as you can see by the entity counter up here, we've got 30 odd. That should be enough. Okay, so let's get a test happening. Let's hit the blocker. No more spiders can get in. Let's hit the crusher. As you can see, they all die with one punch. Which is a lot quicker than having to kill them with your sword or looting sword. Of course, you can use a very well placed damage pot. Thrown splash potion of damage if you want. You can use a looting sword to increase the chance of getting a spider eye. If you do use a damage pot, I recommend standing exactly here and aiming for this corner when you throw. It seems to do the trick. But we've killed all our spiders, we got some drops, but the XP's up there and we want that. So let's press the dropper. Ooh, hello. We got some experience orbs. Very nice. 8 levels, 5 spider eyes. Very quickly. And that's how you build this cave spider farm. It's not too labor intensive. You will need a few blocks. You'll need some redstone. You can probably hear the spiders dying back there. That's because they're in a one high tunnel filled with water. But since we're done, let's just flick the blocker off. Get some more spiders in here. Don't they look so happy? That's about it, really. Thanks for watching this Minecraft tutorial. Hopefully I'll have some more for you in the coming days or weeks. But until next time, Ironfish, and I hope you enjoyed this cave spider farm tutorial. Bye for now.